Welcome back now. New this morning, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announcing California's Department of Motor Vehicles has admitted to illegally issuing upwards of 17,000 trucker licenses to what DOT officials call dangerous foreign drivers. Duffy wrote this: after weeks of claiming they did nothing wrong, Gavin Newsom and California have been caught red-handed. Now that we've exposed their lies, 17,000 illegally issued trucking licenses are now being revoked. They'll be null and void after 60 days. The Transportation Department is threatening to pull $160 million in federal money from California if all the CDLs are not revoked. Joining me now is DHS Public Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Give us the reason this is so troubling, these licenses.
Maria, this is a huge public safety issue in this country, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. What's happening here is California and other sanctuary states are issuing these big rig driver's license, these commercial driver's license for 18-wheelers to those who are in our country illegally. Oftentimes they can't understand law enforcement, they can't speak the English language, they can't properly follow road signs. We just saw in the last few weeks multiple Americans being killed by drivers who are driving recklessly using CDLs. This is a huge problem. Secretary Duffy has been a wonderful partner in this.
You gotta love this to finally see that these states ain't for Americans. California is not for America, bro. If you're American in California, you know you're getting the short end of the stick. But what I don't like about California, I'm from California, so I can speak about this. We have a governor that is not taking care of Californians. So we come to find out that they've been audited and they've given out 17,000 CDL licenses to illegal immigrant truckers. What does that say to our own economy? What does that say to our kids? What does that say to the youth that want to be a truck driver, but they can't because they're getting outnumbered by illegal immigrant truckers? I'm sorry. Rules is rules. If you're not from this country, you shouldn't be able to drive semi-trucks. This goes into corporate greed. This goes into our governor. This goes into our mayor. It goes into everybody that's held accountable for letting this happen. But this is why we have to have a new governor. He does not care about the trucking industry. Why should he? He does not care about Americans. Look what he's doing. He's let this slide for so long and said nothing. You could talk about Trump. You could talk about America. You're on your press tour. But what are you doing for us Californians? This right here. Why would you want this man who did so terrible in California to be president? Because he's a Democrat? Let's just check his stat sheet. 17,000 commercial driver's licenses from illegal immigrants in California. I'll tell you this, as a person from California, illegal immigrants got more benefits than people that's from California. And if you're from California, you already know. There's programs, there's everything to help the illegal immigrants be better than the own California people. And we don't want to pay taxes. This is why we have to understand that the people that they say are for us are not really for us. How can you do the California people like this? And then you put America in danger because these illegal immigrant truckers can't understand the language. Yes, there's people that are legal immigrants and they did it the right way. Yes, get your CDL, bro. Do your thing. As long as you're loyal to the soil, we good. But you have a lot of illegal immigrants that come in. And we're not just talking about one type of color. It's all types of races that come through California because they know California is the easiest to come through. And they get money, they get benefits, they get licenses, they get all these things. But what about Americans? Why can't Americans get the leg up in the CDLs? Why do we have to worry about people coming in willing to take cheap freight and take these jobs that's only paying 30 cents a mile? That's what's messing up the economy for trucking, is the illegal immigrants. You can't tell me that I'm wrong. Oh man, you a racist. I'm not a racist, bro. It's economics. It comes from the corporations that put pressure and give money to people like Gavin Newsom to open up their borders so they can come in, so they can get CDL licenses, so they can work for these companies for pennies on a dollar. That's just what it is, bro. But when we look at this, you're thinking that, oh, well, let them work. They came here to work. Granted, but there's a lot of Americans that want to work too. So what are we supposed to do? Forget about the Americans and let these people drive? They can't even understand the signs and the language. There's too many videos out there to show that a lot of these people from different countries don't even care to try to even speak English. How's that right? That's stupid. It's idiotic. I'm not saying they're bad people, but there's a process for a reason. Why do we have rules? Shit, don't even just give them a CDL. Don't let them go to CDL school. Just throw them in the truck then. If we're going to be like that, why waste money? But what we have in California is a huge problem where the illegal immigrants get more benefits than the people that work hard or the people that are American. You should feel special. And yes, you should get more things than the people that are not here legally. You should get that because you earn that, and that's your right as being an American. This is why we need to understand that the illegal immigrants had a huge impact on the trucking industry. If you don't think so, you need to do your research. Because you as an American, you have a family, a home with high prices and everything like that going on. You can't get a job for 30 cents a mile. You can't get a job that's paying peanuts because you can't live. They can. They have nothing here. They have no home. They don't pay taxes. They get everything free. It's unfair. It creates an economic disadvantage for people that are here in America that want to be truckers, that want to do this job right, that can read the signs. Why aren't they being rewarded? The people that can't do stuff are the ones that's being rewarded. So now California stands to lose $160 million. That's how you make change, bro, is just continue to take money away. First they took $40 million, now it's $160 million. So now we're looking at $200 million that California can actually lose out on because you're not simply following the rules. Why do we have federal rules if you're not going to follow it? This is why I feel like trucking, everything trucking, licenses, CDL school, anything that has to do with trucking should just be federally has oversight. It should be federally governed for everything in trucking. So if you want your license, get it through the federal government. If you want CDL training, get it through the federal government. You no longer should be able to get these things through the states because the states have too much influence and they can do whatever they want. I understand if you want to do something in the state, whether the roads and stuff like that, but we talk about CDL, that is a national federal process because these drivers are not just driving in California. They're going to Texas. They're going to Florida. They're going to New York. They're going to Chicago. They're going to all these places around the world, but they got the CDL from California. So California, if you want to be like this with the CDLs, then give it to the illegal immigrants and you could just say you can only stay in California though. Just do that. And then when they mess up our state and they crash stuff, they hit people, now what are you going to say? Because you hired them and you kept them in the state. But it doesn't make any sense for a person to come through California, come through illegally, get their license, and then be able to drive anywhere. You're affecting the whole economy when you're letting these drivers drive everywhere with that CDL license. You're affecting Texas economy, Florida economy, New Mexico, Arizona, Ohio. Everybody's getting affected by these illegal immigrants because they're the one that's taking the jobs for cheap. So just don't give them the licenses. Why is it so hard? Who are you getting paid by to continue to keep this door open, Gavin Newsom? You're keeping the door open for these illegal immigrants, but who are you getting paid by? Because this is ridiculous. This is crazy.
Incredibly proactive, and Secretary Noem has also been directing state and local law enforcement partners, including our ICE and CBP officials, to be going out to weigh stations, to truck stops, and making operations to make sure that this is a priority so the American families are safe who are driving on our roads.
Why would they issue the licenses in the first place, Tricia?
Great question.
Well, in the state of California, it is actually illegal for the California Driver Association to ask these individuals if they're in the country illegally. So it's incredibly reckless policy. It's not just dumb, it's obviously deadly. And we've seen that time and time again. And innocent Americans are really getting wrapped up in this.
Well,
the crazy thing is, in the future, California will be Republican because California's getting tired of this nonsense. There's a lot of truckers in California that think this is ridiculous. 17,000. Those are 17,000 people that are taking jobs from 17,000 Americans. That's how you got to look at it. We need to have the advantage in all aspects if we're Americans. It's not racist. It's not whatever you want to call it. It's real. It's being a patriot. It's understanding. We come first. There's no way that an illegal immigrant should come here and hop into an 80,000-pound vehicle and make money instantly over somebody that has to go through all these hoops and hurdles and do all this stuff just because they're American. Flip it. We need to have the benefit of the doubt. We need to have the benefits. We need to have the actual, step up, the leg up on the competition, which is the illegal immigrants. But can't just look at Gavin Newsom. You have to look at the companies. You have to look at who's lobbying. Everybody, there's a lot of people that have their hands in this, and it's ridiculous, but we need to have people that are starting to understand that this ain't right. We already had a crash in Ontario. We have the crash in Florida. We got crashes all over for these illegal immigrants. We got people with no name licenses getting arrested. We got to make it stop. But I'm just glad that we get a lot of attention in the trucking industry because you know what? Truckers knew this for years. They knew this for years about the illegal immigrants. They knew this for years. People coming from Mexico, coming into Texas, and then moving all the way around, making money, and then going back to Texas. People coming from Canada, coming down, going to Canada, Georgia back, making all this money. That's taking money from the American people. That's taking money from somebody's kid. That's taking money for somebody's husband or wife. We got to stop it. We are an economic powerhouse, and we have too many people trying to come in and take our money. Just like this. These 17,000 people that got their illegal commercial driver's license are taking jobs from 17,000 Americans. If you think about it like that, is that right? But I'm just glad we finally got a government that's doing something about it. And then the only way you can force California to do it is continue to take the money. 40 million gone, now 160 million. Do you think California is going to make that gamble, or do you think they're going to make some changes?